Hey, welcome. Good to see you. I want to say that we should look at or at least from an animator's perspective, how to animate in 5.6. What are the new changes, um, if any, that we care about? Uh, if you're used to animating in 5.54, like how easy is it to just get up and running? And I think the answer is pretty simple. Um, so we're going to start a new sequencer file here. Sequence. Wait, I might have another one already. Don't want a new one. Just want to bring one in. Characters. Heroes, girl, anim files. I'll do. Oh, I don't have one. I've got a trash level, not a trash sequencer. All right, level sequence. Yeah, okay. This one will be trash. Trash. Guess if we're being legit about it. Yeah, there we go. All right, got that new one in there. I don't know what happened to our old character. We're just not editing sequencer files. So we've got that one. Let's bring our character in there and we'll plop a control rig on it. Control rig. And we'll check the control rig. Make sure it's the way I want it. And should probably save out a pose for this every time, so I don't have to do this. I'm going to select mode here, so I'm only selecting, so I've turned that off. And I can select other objects in the scene, turn that on, then you can only select the control rig. They changed this up a little bit over here. There's obviously this new UI bar. Um, if we go to the curves, we can see they brought in the tweens here. Some of this stuff is a little new as far as like the layout. Like these things were all spread out before, like these different selections and retiming tools over here. More or less, though, I'd say it's on par with what I've been seeing. Um, I know for sure plugins, if you're not using this, the new Gizmo, activate this new Gizmo. I guess activate that one. And then edit editor preferences. You type Gizmo and you want to activate the experimental Gizmo. I'm not sure what the difference between is arc and pull. Let me just change that real quick. Grab this. Pull. Not sure. Movement seems the same. Arc determines how dragging the rotation gizmo affects the selected object. Okay, I'll leave it on what it was. Um, control middle does Y. Control middle does Y. When enabled, control middle mouse activates Y axis. And control right mouse button activates Z. Oh, interesting. Ah, that's cool. I guess. Like if you don't want to go over there and select it, you don't want to like move your mouse over. That's nice. Enable explicit. So this one's just up here. So you can change or guess the coordinate space that you're working in. And explicit is just kind of what everyone's used to in Maya, which is gimbal. That didn't exist before. We go back to world and we rotate. Actually, this is actually kind of annoying. They still haven't fixed this toggle or the snapping. Um, Toggle whether objects snap to a grid, move them. Snap to angle. So if I turn that off, I don't expect the snap. But if I turn it on, there's no snapping still. So that's not good. That's fine. That's the way it's been. I don't usually work with a lot of snapping, and you can just type in your numbers. There's a workaround. But I get it that can be useful. So if I just reset this and this, make sure this is all zeroed out here. Reset these. Okay. So we're going to key and key there. Interesting. Wonder if I can select these and they stay. That'd be nice. Key, key, key. I wish if it wasn't keyed that, selecting those would just key it, I guess. Keep aligned, let off. Let's turn the stretch on. Turn the softness to 2. That should work. Like it shouldn't. No, it's still snapping pretty hard there. Did it change? No. What was the softness? Oh, it's on the arms. So that works. That's a little softer. You can see that. But it's nice now. Like, I can grab each of these and change them. Like before, like you couldn't do this. That's a huge, huge save. I like that. Like grabbing multiple. Some of them, like, couldn't update multiple here in our Anim details panel. That's nice. Come back here. Fine. Okay, 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 okay. Let's put this back at 0. Great. That's fantastic. Just drag through here, see if there's anything. Okay, great. I like that. So we got there our gimbal control. The default hotkey for this is Control tilde, which is this. Let me see if I can get my mouse there. This button right there by the one and above the tab. Let me see here. We've got our motion, trails. So let's enable that. So let's set a key. Let's grab this one. This should move the entire body. Great. We're going to set a key. We're going to come here, go to, let's go to 1 second. Actually, let's change this down to 24 because I like to animate in 24. So yeah, at 1 second again. So that's nice that it adjusts that automatically. Set a key. I'm going to move this out here. And halfway through, just about, we're going to come up like that. We're just going to move that. And then we're going to bring our motion trail on. So we're going to show the full trail. You've got all these parameters here that you can set, which is nice. Pinned trail offset space. Interesting, different trail. Let's unpin all. I'm going to just go to show trails on selection. So you can select different objects. But pinning is cool because if you just really want to track that one and be on a different trail. So let's say if we deselect that, pin selected, then I can select a different object here, any of these. As you can see, we're not seeing these trails pop up, so that's nice. I like that. So I have previously changed this from the default setup, which is the trail style. So if we go to default, we can just see, let me see, I've got advanced. If we show keys, I think that's turned off, and show marks, that's turned off. I think this is the default trail that you'll get. And then, yeah, you can just update it here. Wish you could pop this window out someplace else. That'd be nice. Okay, so let's go back to show keys. So that's nice. So that and show marks. And I think I would want the show keys to be a little higher, bigger. Let's pump that up to 10 and see what it does. There we are. Now I can see where a key is. I think that's great. Versus, it's not showing the key on 24. Weird. Versus like where the marks are. So like the spacing of every individual integer. You can change the trail thickness. Let's go to 2. I wish it would update the settings there. That way I don't have to keep opening up this drop-down box. 1, go back to 1, mark size, we'll leave it. You got a bunch of default colors, max number pinned, pin settings. Oh, I guess it might be this. How many pin trails that we can pin at the same time. Hmm. So let's go to dashed, see what that is. So it's just alternating. That's actually the usual setup I would use. But I would use like red and black. That's a holdover from when I would animate in 3D Studio Max. Let's go to time. Not sure what that one's doing, but it's orange now. Post color. Oh, maybe it's like where I am. Ah, yeah. Okay. So blue is the time in the past. Orange is the time in the future. Okay. Without dashed. I think that one's that. There's no update there. I had it on heat map because that's one I wanted to try. Heat map. So this one, if we're gonna do this really quick, get this. We just change this to a weighted tangent and pull this out like that. That. So I think like this key is green. This this mark, this in between is green there. But like the longer you hold something in a particular position, like the bluer it gets. So it's kind of like I guess hotter colors, so like red and orange are going to be faster moves, and colder colors like blue and green, they're going to be slower moves. You can kind of see um, from your motion trail that you've got some holds or slow moves, slow ends, how much you're slowing those, or how closely are those keys and in-betweens together, like if they're really uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Stacked on top of each other, basically, or crumpled together. So how much of a value change, essentially, and from one key to a next. So if it's a small value change, the color will be blue. So we can bring this here, make it even tighter. See how dark blue it gets. Then it switches to green really quickly because we're moving out of that. So we set this back to a normal key here. We come up and shoot down. So one of the things I might do is like shoot it up really fast, and then stay up here in it. I have an antic down here, so let's say we hold that a little bit longer. That might be too fast, but just slow that down here where we get a little bit more movement there. Bring that down a bit. Oops. Oh, there is a interesting. I don't want that. Hotkey. change that hotkey. And then this should be, that should be trashed. Then let's say this one's back here a little bit more, so it doesn't hit as hard. So you can do like a cool move there if you want. And then from the front view, you could, in the antic, you'd have him go this way. Then she moves off this way, like that. Then we can sweep back over here. And then add another key here. Actually, we want that one to be fast, so let's add a key there. So that could be like some curve that you're working with there that might be too fast here on the up. So let's hold that there and move this back. There we go. Cool. Now we got a little ways to go for our character. Let's move that back a little bit. Can you grab these? Move these? That's nice. I'm just gonna use this stuff in the scene too. So if you don't want to go to the curve editor, that's fine. You can come here and grab the keys. That's actually really cool. And you set a key here. Oh, it moves the entire trail. If I grab that and set a key, nope, no setting keys. There. So we're shifting over. If we want to, we can move backwards first and then shift over. Not as far forward. There we go. Maybe a little antic there. Antic for anticipation. Okay, so we're going to move this one up. This is pretty cool. I've never actually done a lot of motion trail editing before, because in Maya it's just so slow. So this is speedy. That's nice. Don't like the spacing there, but maybe if we move this up a little bit more, I might like it better. I don't know. This is just fun to play with. I'm spending way too much time on this. I'm the sort of guy that likes to set keys too. I grab this. Let's play with this, the blend neighbor. So what does that do? So that should set keys. That's good. It brings us closer to the what I like to say is that we favor the next key or favor the previous key. What happens if we overshoot? We have that on, so now we can go further than the previous and the next key, so that's nice. But if we just select our one key there, we can go above it. So if we're down here, now we can go above it. So that's cool. And if we, so if it's still, like no matter what, like if you don't have a key selected, then it's just whatever frame you're on. And if there's no key there, then it'll set a key like that. Oop. So if there's no key selected, it sets a key. It sets a key on like everything, I guess. And then if you do have a key selected, then it doesn't care about what key you're on. We overshoot that just a little bit more. And this one, bring it up a little bit. And then we're going to set that to 0. Oh, one of the things I wanted to do is set my type of key I'm creating. Cubic Smart. Okay, good. So that's my default key I like to animate with. I don't like doing constant, which is stepped, interpolation, stepped keys, or anything else crazy. Like, just like to know that this key is going to do what I told it to do. All right, so totally butchered that animation. So let's see how the undos work. So we're moving that around a bit. Sweet, seems solid. Boom. All right, let's save that. Why not? That's very cool. Okay, now what? What else is next? I know I actually don't mess with the curves that much. I'm usually like I'll set a key. I like working in the viewport more, but I'll just go back and forth, I guess, depending on the type of action I'm doing or like what stage I'm in. But you select a bunch of keys and you can just grab. So I'm not marquee selecting. I'm not trying to control select. So I just select this and then like just click on that tangent, then it selects it. But I can't do that for multiple tangents. So if I say try to select this tangent and this one, oh, you can. Oh, that's good. Let's come here. Select these. So let's select this one. Oops. This tangent. I guess you gotta be like super precise in that one. And then this one. Ooh, that's nice. You gotta be super precise with that. But I guess like it's grabbing all the other tangents automatically too, which is not what I wanted. So if I want this one and this one, say in that one, for whatever reason, grabbing the left tangent and the right tangent. So it's, oh, I guess let's break them. Where is it? Break. There you are. Okay, that's cool. I was trying this out the other day and I guess I just wasn't precise enough with my clicking. Ooh, this key, this key, this tangent, that tangent. And they're all broken. Let's break them again. Let me see, can I deselect that tangent? Yeah, control click to deselect. Oh, control click to deselect. That's weird. I wouldn't have expected that tangent to. I guess I need to select my keys first. This tangent, that tangent. Ugh, misclicked. The more I do it, the more I'll get used to it. I wonder why it's selecting that other tangent. Because it's broken and I didn't actually select it, so wouldn't want that other tangent to move. That's weird. Cubic broken. Cubic broken. So let's select this one. Cubic broken. Right tangent. Oh, give select and select. I want the left tangent here and the right tangent here. Huh. I guess I guess no matter what, wherever you start pulling, it will pull that other tangent too on the other key that you've selected. So I know that I can select this one and then this one, and then I don't select the tangent, but if I just click it and grab it, it'll automatically pull that other tangent too on the same side of that key. So you can see I'm grabbing the left tangent. Huh, that's weird. Grabbing the left tangent here. The left tangent's grabbed on both of them, but if I grab, huh, yeah, that's weird. I wouldn't want that to deselect. I don't know about. I'm not going to check like a bunch of settings to see if I can fix that, but it's just like I wouldn't have intuitively guessed that it's going to deselect my right tangent on the X key there. So that's weird. Weird, 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 weird. All right. back to cubic smart. Huh, that's weird. Let me check my editor preferences because my play button, I need to see toggle play, Alt V for the viewport, and Alt V here. So I have no play for the viewport here. If I come here, and a sequencer, and it's not playing either. Oh, there it goes. That's weird. I'm in curves. Oh, that's just bizarre. There isn't, I did notice that there is a hotkey. Let's come here. Sequencer curves here. So this is the roadmap, pace relative. I just happened to be reading this, and I saw that there's a hotkey, Alt V for pace relative. So let's see if that's anywhere. So let's put this back to Alt V, because Alt V is the default. The reason why I'm using it is because it's the default for Maya. Paste relative, Alt V, curve editor. Weird. Where is that curve editor? Okay, here are the curve editors. Hotkeys. There's a paste relative right there. So I would just knock that out. Paste the keys from clipboard and aligns them to the nearest key to the left of the scrubber. Huh. I don't know if I would want to use that. Maybe that's like someone's workflow and they were just like, I gotta add this for people. I don't know what that does. There a play? Curve editor play. Curve editor paste? No. Hmm. So I knocked that out, so that's nice. I wonder why I can set Alt V here. I bet, oh wait, where'd it go? Paste relative. Oops. Alt V. I bet I can't put that here. Yeah, I guess because it's under the same setup. So like it's under the same section. So curve editor. Curve editor. Okay, so if I go to sequencer, no, if I go to toggle play, then yeah, that's all under sequencer. So if you're playing in the viewport, that's too bad that they consider the viewport as part of sequencer. Toggle the timeline playing in all viewports and sequencer. Oh, Alt V, close that. Huh, Alt V. Let's see. So if I'm in sequencer, Alt V. I'm up here, Alt V. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's better. So I guess I didn't know that there was another key somewhere that was stomping on playing in the editor because Alt V was also in the curve editor. Okay, good to know. Got that situated. So hopefully that you guys maybe you would have known that and you're like, duh. But if not, then hopefully that helps. Okay. What else? I like unlit mode, so that moves. There's lit mode. Let me see. There's other settings, just like native to Unreal. And we're about like moving around the viewport and stuff, but we're like trying to hone in on animation stuff. I guess the next thing, I know there's like just general like sequencer curve editor updates, because that's here. That's what this is. So you can see that. think I'll paste that in the video description. So there's motion trails. We went over that. Sequencer curves. Those seem faster. Miscellaneous fixes and updates. Anim details. I think we went over the anim details. Constraints. Improve evaluation in engine. Constraints double key. Improvements. Ability to select parent before constraint creation. Okay. Drag and drop from outliner. Use arrow to fill in parent. So I'd have to just try to use that. Improve support for modular rigs. Quick control rigs. Oh, that's the Anim outliner. So that would be this right here. So I guess I can collapse that and see another one. So that's nice. Maybe that was there before. I'm not sure. Anim layers. Keep items selected when changing layers. New icons and hotkeys for zero key and pass-through key. Ooh, zero key and pass-through. So let's do that. So let's create a layer. So I had my object selected. So when you create a layer, if you don't have anything selected, it'll be an empty layer. So pass-through key. So what I want to do, let's change this to an override layer for a second. Let's zero all this out. Zero. Whoops, not that. Okay. If I set a pass-through key, I should get the top key there. So right click here, pass-through key. Yes, perfect. And then pass-through key. Perfect. That's exactly what it should be doing for an override layer. Okay, so yeah, the way I like to use override layers is like it just kills everything. And if you've got something wonky in your animation, or like you just want to completely change that part of the animation without like getting rid of it, you can create a new layer and like do your edit here, like an override layer. Like you can set a key here and zero that out, and then you can set a key here and change that to 1. Oops, I would set a key here and change that to 1. So like the rest of this animation is the override layer, and everything before that is the default base layer. So if we look at the weight on that layer right here, basically in one frame, we're turning that layer on and off, essentially. So it's off, you hit the light switch and the light comes on and that layer takes over as an override layer. So like I said, you can, where is it? Is it default pose? How do I, oh, there it is, mute. We can mute that layer and kind of see the adjustments. So I think the adjustments are more prevalent from the front view. There we are. So if we unmute that layer, I'm sorry, if we mute the layer, we can go back to default. We're like, you know what? I like this one better than this one. So you can just like get rid of your changes really quick. It's a quick way to like edit part of your animation and test different things about it in different sections of your animation. So yeah, like if I want to come back here, I'm on that layer, come up before we drop down, and have the character just kind of slide over. So that's different. So that's good, actually. So let's delete this layer. Let's do a new one. So if I select this layer and then go back to my other layer, so the object stays selected, so that's good. But the question is, when I select this layer, will it actually animate on the correct layer? And it does. That's great. So that, I don't think that was working before. So if I go to this layer and I animate, yes. So it changed everything because there's not a key yet. Okay, that makes sense to me. Fantastic. So we're using it as an additive or an overlay. Set a pass-through key. Oh, yeah. So I guess like the easiest way to do that, if we go back to like making that an override, like there's nothing here. And then I guess set a zero key. Oh, that's great. So it just defaults. That That's what I've been looking for. They didn't have that. So before, um, basically, a zero key or pass-through key override. So I guess that just knows what mode you're in and sets the proper mode. Huh. Oh. Oh, it's not actually setting a zero key. Because, like, I would want to say if I hit that key button, it would just set a zero value here, like that. But not zero, scale. Anyway, I can work around that. That's pretty good. Um, so that's a nice change. I know that they're doing the mirror stuff, so like if I select this, come up here and move that, it should be moving that on that base layer, so that's good. Let's get rid of this layer again. I think these are some new hotkeys in here. So if I go to editor preferences and type mirror, so we're mirroring now. Okay, so there's these new hotkeys here. So rig and animation. Alrighty. So add mirrored controls to selection. So if I hit Shift M here, it'll add that other mirrored control to the selection. But I think what I've noticed is that if you undo that, it doesn't undo that selection. So I don't think that's good. Mirror selected control. So if I say Control Shift M, okay, so it takes the mirrored control of the control I have selected, and then it pastes the mirrored value onto the control I have selected. So that's not what I would want. So they have Alt M. So it's your selected control that gets mirrored to your other control, your non-selected control. That's how my brain works. So that's how I would always do it. And then it's just select mirrored control. That's actually pretty cool. Control M and Alt M are probably going to be some new faves there. Still think that they need a mirror animation and a mirror time range, and then like what keys I'm grabbing, like all keys or like just just the key values or like key increments or something like that. I think that would be phenomenal. Because right now, if you want to mirror something, you're just kind of grabbing one control in the curve editor. You're grabbing those curves and then you're pasting them to this other control. Oh, another thing I would want about the mirroring is to offset it, especially like if you're working in an animation cycle like a run. You've got the arms working. Um, you have the arms working like this. What I would want to do is paste that. And when you paste it or mirror that to the other one, when you mirror that to the other one, usually it'll just mirror it. So both your arms will be moving like that. But if you were to able to mirror and offset at the same time and cycle it, then you would have, your right arm here while your left arm is it's like here in the cycle. So that's what I would want, to be able to mirror your animation, offset the animation, um, cycle that animation automatically, and then cut out everything from the time range because I wouldn't want like everything from the time range there either. Like just all as options. I think that would be fantastic. Okay, let's see here. What else? One last thing, which is the poses. If we grab this pose here that we have, so I don't remember if this was there in 5.5.4 or not, but this is pretty sweet. So let's select controls. Um, so I'm not a big picker guy for animation. Um, I just like to come to my scene and grab stuff. But you can also use these as like your poses as what is it? Selection sets. So if you wanted to say just like fingers, then select controls, that's fantastic. Or just torso, select the controls, and then start keying and animating. Um, so I select the controls and I've got my fingers and I can mirror that. You only need like one side. So if you mirror that, you can grab the other controls over there. So what we want to do now is just paste a percentage of, excuse me, of this pose here. So I want to grab, say, 20% of it. And there's 100. So it goes from 0 to 1. If I say 2, it won't do anything. If I say 1, it will do something. That's nice. You can type it into, I guess you can go further, but why? Not sure. I guess on additive you can go further. If I say 0 and paste, it won't do anything. But if I select controls, then Alt M, then I can paste that. I can mirror those keys, paste it back over there. So that's nice. Then I've got, so that's nice. So like if you do 0.5 for pasting, oh, it's not doing anything. Select controls. Oh, it did it. There it is. But yeah, that's 25% of that pose. You go more into it. I guess it just goes from where you are. So if I just want to paste pose, then there. Then can I go more into it now? So let's select our mirrored controls, Alt M. Oh, I guess that's where it comes in handy. Like if I want to stay working on this control, this set of controls over here, I can hit Control M. No, I can hit Control M and Control Shift M. And okay, that's cool. I figured out why I might want to use that. I want to stay with these controls, not have to select these. Paste over here, the mirror, and then select these controls again. Okay, so that's cool. Anyway, I want 0.25 here, so we've got that. Oh, is that 0.25? That looks more than 0.25. Yeah, that looks like 1. Wonder if there's like a bug in there somewhere. So Control Shift M, nice. Drag this, and then if I drag it again, yeah, I can go further than that pose. That's a little weird. Like I would only want it to go to that pose that I'm in, or that pose that we've got there. So that's a little weird. But if I'm in additive mode, I mean, sure, do whatever. Keep going. If you want to do something crazy, it's just to me that makes sense. But if I'm not in additive, and I go to 1, it should just paste that pose. So 1, enter, paste. There it is. Okay, that's cool. So I like all that. It's a little weird. I gotta get used to that. Um, like how we're blending into the pose and out of it and whatnot. But I like that. So Alt M, and you paste your fist onto the other side. It's nice too. Like now you don't really have to go through that. Like, oh, I just want this pose really quick. Like, I don't want to go here, create a pose, name it. I mean, you don't have to name it, but and then select the controls, mirror them, and paste them, and all that sort of stuff. That was kind of like the process before. Now I can just hit Alt M, and then bam, I'm there, and then keep working. And come here, move this, move these suckers over here, Alt M, and boom, boom, we're good to go. That's pretty fast. Now, I think what would be even faster is if it auto mirrored, is there's like an auto mirror function where I move this guy and the other guy moves. That'd be great. Um, I think that's all I wanted to get into for this video. This next video, let's actually create an animation. Let's use this curve, this motion trail as a starter. So great. Hopefully that helps. That helps me, that's for sure. Happy animating out there. Best of luck to you.